Good evening, everybody. This is Robin with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guests tonight, they are self-taught filmmakers, musicians, all around of everything. The Addams family, John Addams and Toby Poser. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Thanks
Robin.
for having us. Super nice of you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's just amazing how you guys self-taught yourself in filmmaking, editing. You guys do everything. You star in all of your films, and you take turns doing everything. That's just amazing.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's funny. We're actually talking to you today from a directing gig, solely directing gig in Canada. It's the first time it's something that we haven't written, you know?
So you're in Canada doing a film or writing a film?
Directing a film.
Wow. So is this your film, or are you directing somebody else's screen film?
Yeah, no, it's completely, we're just stepping in, directing an episode of something. So, because normally we're doing our own work, like you said. It's fun.
So how's it feel actually doing the directing and not doing anything else?
That's a super great question. It's just a different world. I think we really love, we just love the whole process. We love starting with the idea. We love thinking about the music. We love shooting. We love the acting. We love the editing. And so it's just so different just to be directing, because it seems like we're lazy, sitting around doing nothing.
That's amazing. The first film I liked of yours that really got me into it was Deeper You Dig. I mean, that movie really had me on the edge of my seat when I finally watched it. I saw it online. I was just curious because I like to watch, different like horror films, something different, original, unique. So I go, I wonder what this is. So when I first watched it, I was just completely into it. It just kept me on my edge of the seat. I mean, it was just a great film. I mean, it was just good. Some of the scenes got under my skin.
Well, that's really cool. I like it. I like it when a film gets under my skin. So that's a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, and that was the beginning of our whole. That was the film that really broke us in. It got accepted at Fantasia and Fright Fest, and those two festivals were really good to us and helped us out and opened a lot of doors for us. It was a great experience, and whenever I watch that movie, it just brings back a lot of great memories.
Now, let's talk about your film you guys just did, Where the Devil Roams. I just want to say, I do not want to get under Maggie's nerves or be on her hit list. Your role you portrayed scared the shit out of me, man.
Thanks, Robin. You know what? I really miss her. I had so much fun playing her, and she's neat because she's pretty brutal, but she loves her family, and I'm like that too. I wouldn't kill for my family.
Yeah,
no, I would kill for my family, but I wouldn't go on like a murder spree just because I like it.
Yeah, but if you've seen Toby get pissed, it's always because someone's fucked with her family.
It's true.
And it's scary.
What am I saying? That's autobiographical.
I like it how you set it out during the Depression era about a family, struggling, making ends meet, trying to keep their family surviving, I loved it in your film. Your filmmaking is so unique and different. I like how you use like natural lighting, certain tones and colors in certain scenes of your film. You can feel like the powerful emotion through the characters by the certain lighting on the certain scenes of the film.
You know what? It's really nice that you say that.
Yeah.
Because that's important to us to use available light, because we feel like it's a better representation of real life. And, we love watching a big Hollywood movie, and they're a lot of fun, but they don't necessarily like portray real life super well. And we love that people like you enjoy are just natural lighting and the natural feeling of film. So it means a lot to us that you mention it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I'm also a fan of cinematography. Some of the cinematography was pretty good on certain shots. My favorite cinematography shot was how you guys shot it and angled it during the dinner scene when you were eating dinner with the older gentleman. I mean, that was just disturbing. It was kind of funny a little bit, but it was kind of creepy at the same time.
That's exactly what we were going for. It's wonderful. You're hitting all the points that we love. We wanted it to be exceptionally disturbing. We wanted it to be a little funny, but we also wanted to show that Maggie's husband and her daughter were just like how they dealt with the violence.
Yeah, especially now, John. Let's talk about you played Seven, and I like the backstory because you were a surgeon, army surgeon during back to World War, and some of those dream sequences you did, you can feel the powerful, emotional, and a little bit of that character being scared in war and how to react. How'd you prepare yourself to do that certain role to feel vulnerable? In the certain scenes of the dream scenes.
Yeah, I've always thought about what soldiers have to do in war. And, American society loves to portray soldiers as hard and tough and like, amen. But I think the real heroism and the real strength of a soldier is what they emotionally have to endure. And so that's all I wanted to try to capture in Seven's character is like the emotional terror of what you have to do when you're in a war zone.
Yeah, through the whole movie, you can feel how Seven was feeling through his emotions through the whole movie, and how him and Maggie, kind of interacted with each other. It was just that powerful chemistry. Seven quite didn't like what Maggie was doing, but Maggie, had to do it, but they still loved each other, which was kind of good how they felt towards one another.
Yeah, a lot of this film is really about what you do for love and what you accept of those you love. Because this is our most brutal film of The Deeper You Dig and Hellbender. And this, I think it's our most gory, but I think it's also the reason why we went there with the gore was because we thought we also went there with the love that everyone feels for each other. And that kind of counterbalance is important to us.
Yeah, it was very bloody. There was a lot of brilliant kill scenes. I mean, you guys nailed that, and especially Mr. Tips, how he would cut himself up and all that. He was a creepy guy too. I just wanted to beat the living tar out of him, man.
You did a good job then.
He's played by our buddy Sam, who just showed up and did such a wonderful job capturing that dark magic.
Yeah, let's talk about Zelda, who played Eve. She did a phenomenal performance, how she portrayed that character, the mannerisms, how she played it out, it just felt so lifelike. How did she prepare for that role? It just felt like she was a really a real person in today's society, how she portrayed that.
We talked a lot. We took a long time to talk about what Zelda wanted to do with her character. And we felt that it was really important that two things. One was that we showed the damage that had been done to her by the fact that she lives in a homicidal family. And the other is we needed to show her dependence on that homicidal family. So by making her mute, it was that's why we made her mute. And I think Zelda loved her physical. She loved working on the physical aspect of her acting. She's a really, she's my daughter, so it's obviously I just love her talent, but she's really talented. And even when we took away her ability to speak, her physicality just really rose to the occasion.
I think it's true. It's like, you know how you just like dirt doesn't go anywhere. You can't get rid of it, just move somewhere else. It was like the minute we took away her voice, that kind of expression, that language moved into her body. I think it was a real joy watching her do it. And I think it was a joy for her too, watching Eve evolve as we started shooting, putting her in some fun period-based clothing. And then, of course, she does have an outlet when she's on stage and she gets to sing. We get to see another side of her. So I think she really, really enjoyed playing Eve.
And we wanted to like bring in the idea that she's an angel. But we love the horror crowd because they're so film smart that we didn't want to say whether she's a good angel or a bad angel. And so the fact that she's an angel that sings, we're setting that up for the horror crowd to ask themselves, wait a minute, is she good or is she bad? Like, what is the deal with this character?
And I love how she had the responsibility of holding the thread between heaven and the devil. She had that great, strong responsibility, and you didn't know which way she was going to go with that, which was kind of clever in the film, too.
That's cool.
Yeah, thanks. It's fun. We want the audience to like have fun with us in between heaven and hell.
Also, Zelda, she has a phenomenal voice. The song she was singing in the film, it was so soothing, like silk. You know, it was just like, it was like memorizing, like you were hypnotic to her music, you know, like she was like the Pied Piper, you know, she could be good or bad. And that soothing voice, I mean, it was just brilliant.
Oh, we'll tell you said that. Thank you.
Yeah, she'll love that. She does have a very like eerie voice, right? There's something about it that's like, wow, it's beautiful, but it's got this twist of eeriness.
And speaking how you're doing your filmmaking, I love how you shot half of it in black and white. I love how you made it look like a authentic black and white film. It felt like it was from like the 30s and 40s. It felt like I was watching one of those black and white films when you go back in the day to those penny arcades. You know, I'm talking. You put it in and watch it. Some of the film felt like it was watching through a penny arcade.
I mean, that was our goal. Our goal was to take our audience on a fun trip. It is about the 1930s. We wanted to start with color, and as everything fell to pieces, and as it got more and more dirty and more nasty inside of their souls, we wanted to just strip the color of it and put them where they belonged, which was in this dark movie. Yeah,
and speaking of the score, it was like very eerie and creepy with that wind hissing, which I felt like it was part of the character in certain scenes of the film too. I just loved the music score.
Well, thank you. Incredibly nice.
Exactly. So, how'd you guys come up with this crazy, bloody horror film? What was going through your minds when you did this film?
Well, Zelda really kicked it off because she was having like a nightmare. And I think it was specifically about clowns because she's kind of got a clown phobia. And then that sort of evolved into like, hey, what if we did something about a family of like circus performers? But we were like, let's make them sideshow performers. That's more like, that works for us. And she was in her senior year of high school when we shot this. So we realized, oh, great, she wants to do another film before she takes off to college. So when she came up with this idea, we were like, hell yeah. And we almost started shooting, like started working on it right away.
That was good. Like I said, her role was brilliant in it, and I hope she wins some awards at some film festivals because she nailed that role to the T. All you guys did. I mean, your characters were so convincing. Like I said, it kept me drawn to the film. I couldn't stop the film. I had to keep on watching to see where it was going to go. I was like, okay, this crazy family. I want to see what's going to happen next. And especially, I love the special effects on this certain stuff you did, like cutting arms, fingers, blood splurting everywhere. Did you guys do your special effects as well?
Great question. We work with our longtime partner who's part of the family, and his name is Trey Lindsay. And he loves horror art, the art of horror. And so, no, we work with him, and we plan out our shots. From being on the festival circuit with Hellbender, we had watched great violent movies like Terrifier, like Sadness, like The Golden Glove. And we all talked a lot about, well, we want to do some of this more kind of brutal violence, like where you don't cut away, where you actually show the violence. But we did need to balance it out. Like everything that happens violently is balanced out with either love or payment, you know? So, yeah, the answer though, to your question is Trey Lindsay put all that horror together to make it as real as possible. That was important to us.
Yeah, some of his work kind of reminds me of some of the work from Joe Castro, who's another guy that's great in special effects too. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Joe Castro's work, you know, which he should take that as a compliment too.
I'm sure he knows exactly who you're talking about.
He probably goes, I know that Joe guy.
Trey loves everything horror, so he will definitely know who you're talking about.
And I love the photography shots you guys filmed of all the victims with that cool looking camera. It kind of reminded me of when Eve was taking the pictures of all the victims after, you know, her family killed them all. It kind of reminded me of her as that Jude Law character from The Road to Perdition a little bit.
Yeah, right. We've heard that. We've heard that again. We've heard that before. I mean, we love the idea that what do you do if you grow up in a homicidal serial killing household? You know what I mean? And what we love is that she turns it into art so that it can be normalized, so that she can kind of survive through it, you know?
Oh, it was great. I love my favorite kill photo was of the Norwegian, and I love the dark humor of it where you know, I'm not going to rent for everybody. I just love the part where she's like, oh, I thought he was German. No, he was Norwegian.
Yeah, we had fun with that.
Yeah, and one of my favorite lines from Maggie in the film was where she goes up to Eve. She goes, "You have your father's hands of sewing, but you have my hands of piercing."
Yeah, that's funny. That was somewhat autobiographical because my mom used to always tell me, "Oh, you have a doctor's hands," because my biological dad was a doctor. And I didn't really know that for a while, but she kept saying that to me. And when I kind of realized who my biological dad was, I was like, oh, that makes sense now. So I had to kind of sneak that in there. You got your father's hands for sewing, meaning kind of like a doctor's hands, and mine for sticking.
That was great. I started laughing when I was watching that. I spit my beer out of my mouth. I was like, what? It was like brilliant. And the ending of the film, man, that was perfection, and it was shocking at the same time when they finally made it to the Buffalo Horror Show, and that last scene, that last act on that stage, that really blew my mind.
Thank you. We just recently saw it on an IMAX theater in London, so that was wild.
So how was it watching it on an IMAX theater in London with a crowd? Did you watch the crowd to see how they were taking it and how they were feeling into the film?
The Fright Fest crowd was amazing. First of all, it was the IMAX theater, so it was packed and huge. And, you know, as filmmakers, it's really an experience to watch your movie with a crowd because you can find out what's funny, what's actually funny, because if you have a full house, you can finally see, oh, this is funny. That's, you know, it was great. This crowd in London was really reactive and really made us feel good. And they got a huge kick out of the ending.
Oh, I did too. I mean, it was... I also kind of paid a homage to another indie horror film. You know, I'm not going to mention that scene kind of remind me of that too. How it just like blew my mind. I was like, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, it can happen today. I mean, it's way past the 2000s. Anything can happen in a horror film. And I'm dying to see what you guys are doing next. I mean, I'm hooked. You guys are one of my favorite independent horror filmmakers, and I can't wait to see what twisted and morbid film you're going to be doing next, and how it's going to, top the others. I mean,
Well, we got a pretty twisted one coming up that we shot in Serbia for Shudder. That one's going to be coming out maybe pretty soon, called Hellhole. So keep your eyes peeled for Hellhole.
Hellhole's going to be interesting. I'll definitely watch that when it comes on the Shudder. Let's talk about Hellbent. There's one scene I want to talk about. How'd you do the scene where you raise the actor up in the force? It looked like without wires or cables. How'd you guys do that?
That's the magic of Trey Lindsay again. I mean, we shot it in our backyard, and then he just knew how to levitate her. We had shot it kind of like she was on a log, so we kind of spatially could kind of work it right. But Trey made her levitate. Yeah.
I mean, that Hellbent was a pretty creepy film too. I mean, Toby, I don't know what it is, man. You're a great method actor. Whatever you get into, man, you really bust it out. I'm kind of scared of you a little bit.
I'm the nicest person in the world.
I know you guys are great people, but the characters you portrayed, how you can tap it in and out, that just blows my mind. And I finally saw Hellbender. I watched it on Joe Bob Briggs' Last Drive-In. That's where I caught it, and I was like, oh, the Addams Family have another film. I definitely got to check that out, and I found out it was on Joe Bob's, so I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. And God bless Joe Bob Briggs, because when I was a little kid in the 80s, he had this show, The Last Drive-In, on the movie channel. And my mom and dad used to get mad at me. He's like, you better not be staying up late Friday nights watching Joe Bob. He's going to mess your head. And he made me think of some sick thoughts in my head. And I've watched some pretty messed up horror films.
Yeah, he's great. And it was a great experience to go on to his show. Their whole crew is wonderful. And Diane is great. And that was a really nice thing for us.
Yeah, how'd you guys get into music? I mean, your music is it's unique, different, has meaning to it. It's kind of powerful at the same time with a lot of emotion. How'd you guys get into making music?
I've been in the music kind of world since I was a teenager, and I was always into punk rock.
Me too.
And as the two kids got older, they got turned on to the stuff that I was listening to, but they also were getting turned on to their own kind of music. And we've been in bands together since they were little kids. And what's nice is as we've all grown together, our styles have kind of intermingled. So it's kind of like a nice generational mix of music now. And the girls, Toby, Lulu, and Zelda, have voices that just really work well together. So we're having a lot of fun making music for not just our movies, but just for our band. And we feel really lucky that there's an audience out there that is enjoying what we're doing.
Also, John and Toby, I'm going to ask you this question. When you're not filmmaking or, directing episodes, what do you guys really enjoy? Do you guys have like a nerdy passion or a geeky passion or a fun passion you guys like to doing when you're not like filming or writing?
Oh, no one's ever asked that question ever.
It's true. Thank you for asking.
I like kissing her a lot. That's one of my favorite passions.
Well, it's a good thing we both like the same thing then.
But no, but besides that, we like to travel. We love camping and we love traveling.
We love eating. We talk about food all the time.
Yeah.
Wherever we go, we start a conversation with locals. Like right now, we're in Canada. Like, hey, where's the best Indian food? So we love eating. We love cooking.
But right now, honestly, we love like talking with people like you. Like one of the things that's really great about our life right now is that we're meeting people like you, and that's kind of our social life and what we're enjoying. So we love traveling and meeting people.
I bet you probably met some interesting people on your travels too. You probably met some bizarre people, some cool people, some people going, "Wow, you were born."
Yeah, we meet. You know what? We're bizarre, and so we attract bizarre.
That's awesome. So is Where the Devil Roams? Is it going around the whole film festival circuit, or are you showing at certain ones?
Yeah, we're hitting some of our favorite festivals, and revisiting some we've been in before. And then in the fall, Tubi's going to release it. Tubi's going to distribute it. It'll be on the usual platforms first, and then it'll be on Toby.
And will it finally eventually get onto physical media? I support physical media.
Yes, we are working on something right now with Yellow Veil, who is like they kind of manage the film, and then and through another really cool company so that'll be coming out for sure.
That comes out in February.
So has Hellbent came out on physical media yet?
No.
Only a DVD, but I think in a couple years we can put Hellbender on Blu-ray.
Blu-ray, yeah.
Oh.
Actually, maybe soon. They were just talking that maybe we can put it out like now.
That'd be cool. I would love to get in Blu-ray, but right now I'll get it on DVD. I'll take either or. I mean,
well, thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna add.
Deeper You Dig is a great Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because that was done with Arrow, and we were really happy with that.
Yeah, the Arrow did a good job on it. I have the Arrow Blu-ray.
Cool.
Yeah, which is in my film library, and that film is in my top 5 favorite horror films. So letting you know, I'm not just saying that just to say it. It's in my top 5, and I always tell people about it all the time. It's like, you got to check this film out.
That is really nice. It means a lot. Like, I love that film, and it means a lot when we hear it means something to somebody else. Thank you.
I always say it's super personal for me because I was going right after we began shooting. I had a reproductive cancer, and so I was losing all my reproductive organs and everything, and so suddenly the film took on a real personal significance for me as a mother who was losing something symbolic of my motherhood, and that's and Ivy, the mother in the Deep You Dig has lost something too. So it's a really personal film for me.
That's pretty good. So where can everybody find you guys on social media to see what you're doing next? And of course, your latest movie you just mentioned.
Well, our website is wonderwheelproductions.com, and you can see all of our films, like the trailers and everything on there, with some really cool behind-the-scenes shots. And then Instagram is adams.family.films. We're on Twitter as Adams_films. And then individually, we're all on Facebook. And Hellbender. Hellbender.com is our band's website, but the E's are 6s. Hellbenders are banned. And then our music's on Spotify and iTunes and Bandcamp.
All right. Thank you so much for coming out of your busy schedule to come in and chat with me tonight.
Thank you, Robin. It's really nice to talk with you. Wait, I got to hear, though. What's your favorite horror movie? You got to name your favorite one. Only one. You only get one.
The original Phantasm.
That's my favorite, too. That's the one that changed my whole life.
No, that changed my whole life. That's the film that got me into horror. That movie, stunned me, got me into horror. Angus Grimm, I still have nightmares about him today since I'm a kid. Just thinking about him gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh, great. That changed my life, scared the pants off of me when I was 12 years old. Oh, my God. That's so great.
Yeah, and then, of course, my second favorite is the original Halloween because I liked it because you didn't actually see any brutal kill scenes. It was practical. The music and everything just messed with your mind. Those are the type of films I like. You don't have to have a film that's like bloody brutal, but there's some good bloody brutal ones out there. But the original Halloween would be my second fave.
That's great. Love it.
How about you, Toby? What was that one film that stunned you?
Well, I gotta mention Basket Case because I just love that film. It's so seedy and gross and like kind of creepy in like the worst way. You know, it's just like New York seediness is great. So that one comes to mind. Depending on the day, I'll come up with another one. But I love that film.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Robin.